at your release.
Hi and hello, everyone. The mic drop is a free-flowing conversation that oftentimes touches on mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome, everyone. Sorry we're late. It was my fault. I got a burst of energy all of a sudden. I'm exhausted, everyone. Please get the thumbs up there. There was like 10 people in the chat and 1 thumbs up. Help us out here on the mic drop. This is going to be probably just an hour episode. Larry Korkowitz might be on his way. CJH, I don't have the energy for blame CJH this week. I don't even have the energy for the voicemails, but you should get the voicemails in because next week I will be picking a winner for sure. No more excuses. We're picking a winner for the mic drop of the month. We're going to get this party started. Bigger and better things. The channel's having some slow growth. So if you are new and you're watching this on the replay, if you'd be so kind as to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you could catch us live on the mic drop. And we might cover your voicemail or topic. We may even have people reacting to asking AI questions. What's your AI friend called again?
Ara, but everybody.
Ara. Yeah, you want to ask Ara a question?
You can. We take the voicemails very seriously, and we listen to all. We take them all on, even the drunk dials. So go ahead and give us a call whenever you want. You've had a few drinks, you come home, you're bored. Go ahead and give us a call.
Yeah. We could invite Perp on too, I guess, if he's available. Sean, I'd like to have Sean on, but I don't want to have too many people on because it's too much. I am exhausted. I almost called in sick for the show. Not sick, but tired. I was like, oh no, I don't know if I was almost falling asleep on the couch. I was gaming until the stream went live.
I'm tired.
Well, I've reached the part where when you actually lose weight, when you've reached the plateau of like you're getting into the hard weight to lose. I've at least lost 35 pounds, but this last week I've been going up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3, just constantly. And that's really where you have to go. That's really where you have to grind and not stop because that's where people give up and go back to the old habits. I know I've done this before. Yeah. I'm probably in better shape now than I've been since my late 20s.
There you go.
So
he's 6'2" of sexy, everybody. He's getting there. Watch out, ladies. He's a married man. He's taken.
Yes. I don't know if I'm doing it that much. I'm just watching my portions. And some friends that are healthy gave me some tips today on some snacks to get. Well,
but figure drawing's point is valid. Like if you hit a plateau, you have to keep fighting through it. So the first thing you check if you're already exercising is what's my diet? What's going on? And he's right. It's protein. You know what I mean? Theoretically, Max, some people say, I don't know if I necessarily agree with this. You need 1 gram of protein for every pound you weigh, which is a lot, but you're not heavy lifting or anything. So, always review these things.
Sure. I will be lifting hand weights, not like super hard. I'm not like a bodybuilder. I just want to get some definition of strength in my arms and my upper body.
Curls for the girls, everybody.
Yeah. Curls for everybody.
Come on now.
Sweet and tender Hooligan. I am not going to talk about that anymore.
Why was there just some new developments there?
No, there's nothing new. I'm never getting my money back.
Oh, that's
Cheeseman is one of the
he doesn't weigh 300 pounds. Stop it, Anthony Cheeseman. I know.
He's driven me. He harassed me into exercising and losing weight, talking about eating me Big Macs.
All right. Well, fat shaming works. I mean, it's a bad thing to do, but it works sometimes.
Okay. Well, the first topic is not clickbait. It's real. I don't know why people aren't talking about it. Besides, you've heard about Warner Brothers actually selling the movie Coyote versus Acme.
I know there was rumors they were selling it. Has it sold?
They're in the final negotiations with Ketchup Entertainment that bought the last Looney Tunes movie. It's not a nothing burger, Donovan. I used to think it was, but there's something going on. There's something going on with Warner Brothers. I actually think Zaslav might do something. I used to think that the last thing to go would be IP in the day of AI, but I think Zaslav is so stuck with his persona and image and being success that he might do something drastic and sell off stuff.
Well, now hold on.
Now he's going to sell off certain things for sure.
So if they're using the Sony model of creating content and then selling it, that's one thing. But selling off IP, that's a whole other story.
Well, they are actually talking about selling off Looney Tunes as a whole. That's the update.
Wow. That would
So what if Warner Brothers, in the thing that's changed that people don't realize is things changed in a year for sure. Because last year they were shopping around Coyote versus Acme, and they were turning down Amazon and Netflix for 70 to 80 million.
Right.
So the reason that I say I have proof that it's a fire sale, they now sold it for 50 million. They wouldn't accept 70 or 80 million last year, but now they're accepting 50 million.
Wait, so they're selling it at a loss? Because it must have cost
the write-off was like 30 million. But they declined. They tried to have a position of power with negotiations last year.
Okay. So just to be fair, because we listen to all sides here, Donovan, you're yelling. You don't have to yell, buddy. We see your chat.
We have, since Larry's not here yet, and I don't know where he is, and Perp isn't, I've got to send the link to Sean because he's got a lot he has called this.
Okay.
We need
But Donovan's comment is correct. Like Looney Tunes is not the gigantic IP that, I mean, do little.
No, that's true. That's true. It's not gigantic, but it's
not second. It's not
nothing either.
No, it's not nothing.
Joe wants in too. Okay, let's have a party. Do you want to have a party tonight?
Yeah, we can have a party. It's Friday.
All right, we can have a party tonight. Let's help me out.
Have a drink, everybody. It's Friday night.
I'm exhausted. I need to get. Actually, I haven't. My wife actually stopped drinking drinks, and I'm debating on whether I should get some because I'm trying to lose weight. But I would love a nice hard cider or something like that.
Well, you shouldn't deprive yourself. You can have one or two. That's fine.
Yeah. But I said, should I get some more drinks? She's like, no, because she's losing weight too.
Okay, well then, if you guys are doing it,
no, people just think there's reasons. Like I turned 43 is why I'm focusing so hard, but my wife was losing weight way before me.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right, Joe. Fine. If we get the likes up, come on, everyone. We'll have everyone in for this topic because I didn't make it for clickbait. I think something's going on, and the Batgirl thing was not a coincidence, like CGH said. It was not a coincidence. And you know what? I got 16,000 views on a reaction.
That's really good.
So they took that down. I don't know. I shouldn't say anything. It's still up on YouTube. They took it down across X and everything else. How did Joe get in here? I didn't even send him the link yet. I was bringing up Blue Sky.
Yeah, like the video, everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so Perp, I sent it to you on X. What is he talking about?
Perp is just, he's always causing problems. Perp, you were sent the link.
Break up with your ex, Perp. Break up with your ex.
No, this is not nothing. I think that Zaslav is doing things drastic, to make he does not want another situation like the last merger. He doesn't want that on his name.
Let's get one thing straight though. None of this has been confirmed. This came from a scooper.
Why do we have that? Why do we? This is not just a scooper. This is Deadline too is reporting on the Looney Tunes might be sold.
I didn't see that. I saw it come from Jeff Schneider, who I don't trust as far as I can throw.
Okay. Well, these are the same. There's the same conversations that we have constantly, Joe. I don't want to go in circles. Yes, it's not confirmed, but it does feel like there's something going on where they're more open to selling things. I can't
believe because I don't like Zaslav. I think Zaslav's a complete idiot, a complete ass. He needs to swallow some teeth. But I can't believe he would be stupid enough to sell the Looney Tunes IP. That is the Warner Brothers gold standard IP. That is like Bob Iger saying, I don't think we could do anything with Mickey Mouse anymore. We're going to sell Mickey Mouse. It doesn't make sense. He was the Bugs Bunny was like the symbol of Warner Brothers. He used to lean on the WB shield, this is like insanely stupid because
I mean, there's things on the thumbnail that are proof that it's not making money right now. They had
it's not making money because they're selling it.
No, Joe. Listen, I don't want them to sell it either. But I'm in reality here, being objective, Looney Tunes is not making money.
Yeah, because they're not putting it out.
They made the Space Jam sequel.
It went direct to television. It was a pandemic movie that went direct to TV.
Come on, be realistic, Joe. Who's watching Looney Tunes right now?
What Looney Tunes did you have to watch? They're not putting it out.
It doesn't have. It's not in the zeitgeist of little kids.
Because they're not putting it out. You need to put it out for it to be in the zeitgeist.
They also had a video game Multiverses that shuttered too, and there's a lot of Looney Tunes in there. It's not a shiny IP. I don't like to be kicked. I don't want to kick it to the curb.
Nothing's a shiny IP until you do something with it.
Joe,
so I can't I don't think he's selling the IP. They might be selling the movie Sony style, but I don't think they're selling the IP. That would be a huge step. Like that would be a big IP is, even though it's like a low level, quote unquote IP, a low level IP, but it's still an IP that has some, teeth to it.
Well, let's get Perp. I think something's going on. I think they're more open to doing such piecemeal stuff at Warner Brothers. It's that Batgirl thing was not just a coincidence. That was taken. I didn't know if it was new or not. It was taken down everywhere else. My YouTube video got 16,000 views. People were looking for that, and we can't hear you, Perp. Okay.
No, I was waiting for you to finish.
Okay, so I think that's a sign that says, "Oh, we're open for business. Tell us how much you want to pay for Batgirl and other projects that we have waiting here," and then potentially a more drastic move. I don't even think DC's off the table if it really fails, but I don't think it's going to fail. Okay. I know that's going to get Joe and Perp started, but if for some reason the Lanterns and Superman doesn't do good, I think he's going to do something drastic.
RJ, that was me. That was me, not Max, because that wasn't me. So I don't know who that impersonator is, but I was the one that banned and hid their comment because they're faking my name.
There's a doppelganger in the chat. Yeah. It's not the real Crazy Joe, everybody.
I got a doppelganger on Twitter. It was cool.
Yeah, Perp, what was up with that? Why
I don't know, but I said, this isn't me. And then someone else commented, yes, it is. And I was like, okay.
I think that was me.
Okay. Well, Perp, do you think something's going on? Do you think something's going on? There's a lot of...
I don't know.
Nothing with Batgirl?
No.
I wish. That video just came out of nowhere.
I mean, it didn't come out of nowhere.
Why now? Why now?
Because people were talking about selling and stuff. I don't know.
Okay. I think there's more going on. I think you're going to see projects.
I wish. No one cares.
What do you mean no one cares? It got trending.
Yeah, but only for the mystique that it was canceled. No one really cares about that movie.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. No, I've been completely let down. There's a few people, but not in our communities. No.
There's articles saying that
this is you and me, Max.
Because they're saying after that video, there's been a new revitalization of release the Batgirl.
Sure, I'm sure a lot of people wanted to see. Like that happens all the time.
I do.
Yeah, I want to see the hell out of it.
Okay. Well,
that looked awesome.
So the thing
I'll take that leak. Sorry, Max's point is valid. How does that just happen to leak now?
The timing.
Because, dude, did you see the state of it? It's not like it's a clean shot, or it's like a daily. It's like that went through the process of like editors, all this stuff. Like any one of those people could have leaked it because it's part of the conversation of selling stuff.
Okay, so
it could have even been done as a meme. Like, hey, wouldn't it be funny? Like,
so
how
would you explain the situation? I think it is sort of dire, like Sean has said. Maybe not as dire as Sean says, because a year ago they were declining people to buy Coyote versus Acme for 70 to 80 million, but now they're very close to finalizing a deal for 50 million.
Because they weren't getting 70 to 80 million.
Yeah, so they went for the lowest bidder.
Yeah, they were trying to get more than the tax write-off, and nobody was offering it to them. So now they're like, well, nobody's biting at that price, and they lowered their price.
But you read nothing into, you have no speculation as like why they might be more desperate for cash right now.
I think there's more. I find it more realistic, but I think everyone is doing bad.
No, that's true. You're right.
So I don't know.
There's talks about Apple. Yeah. Apple was saying they lose $1 billion a year. Although that was down from like 4 or 5 billion last year, they said. So that's the context they
don't have a profit there.
No, that's when you're building a platform, you're going to lose money at the start until you grow your platform.
Sure. And Severance,
so that was I started Severance, and I got to be real, I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't know why it's so popular. Maybe at the end of the first season, I'll get it. Yeah. I'm just like, I was a little bored. I was like, okay, I get it, but yeah.
Season 1 was phenomenal, but I don't remember anything that happened in season 1 because they waited too long.
You were
severed.
You were severed.
Yeah. You can't wait that long. I don't remember the first season, so I didn't watch season 2 because I don't remember what happened.
I can't believe that you're just gonna take that. Oh, okay, they didn't get it, so now they're gonna take 50 million. I think there's something more going on there. Voltaire, and then we'll get Joe. Voltaire, that's my belief. I love speculating about these big companies. Why now 50 million when they were trying to get 70 to 80 million, declining everybody, not just one studio, Amazon, Netflix. I think there's something there.
So my thing is this, it makes me wonder about those numbers, because if Netflix offered 80 million, right, and they didn't do it for 80 million, and now they're doing it for 50 million, why wouldn't they go back to Netflix for 80 million? Netflix would take that. Netflix is looking for properties, stuff to put on their channel, and that Coyote movie is perfect for Netflix. Or
Netflix would know how to market that really well,
right?
Too,
and they would come back if Warner was, all right, fine, we'll come back. How about that 80 million? You think Netflix would say no? They would have said fine, or maybe we'll do 70 now or something like that.
Well, yeah, they were playing hardball, and now it's just the behind the scenes. Like, okay, we'll take it. That's a significant change to me. I think there's more going on.
How is taking more money than you were going to get a significant change?
That's not more money than they were. They were turning companies down that couldn't get close enough to 70 or 80 million.
Right.
Last year.
Right.
And now they're accepting 50 million.
Right, because they couldn't get 70 to 80 million. They tried to get 70 to 80 million, but everyone knew what they were going to get for the tax write-off, which was, I think, like 15 million. And everyone's like, no, you're only going to get 15 million for the tax write-off. We're not giving you the 70 to 80. And they were like,
get our money back. There's also an attitude change, Joe. They were playing hardball and negotiating these projects.
And now it didn't work. Hardball didn't work.
So your take is like, there's nothing to see there. It didn't work, and they're just going to take what they could get.
Right, and I
think there's something more there.
From what I understand, it's too late to take the tax write-off now. They had to take the tax write-off by a certain date. What? So now they have this project they couldn't sell. They didn't get the tax write-off. So
they didn't get the tax write-off.
No, they couldn't get the tax write-off because they tried to sell it instead, and the date passed.
All right, you know what, Donovan? I am putting you in timeout. Come back,
Donovan. I will never. If you come to my channel, I will never put you in timeout.
Yeah, brother. Come on, Max. Don't put him in timeout.
I will never put you in timeout.
Okay, he's monopolizing the chat. He's monopolizing the chat and calling up other YouTubers.
Hey, RJ, why don't you go to Matt Jarvis and tell him how he's wrong about Superman?
I don't want to. I don't want to talk about other YouTubers.
That's true, but why doesn't RJ do that? That's such a great point. RJ doesn't do that.
Okay. All right. I completely disagree with Joe for the 10th time, the 10 millionth time. I think there's more to it. I think there's an attitude change. I think they are they're not like on dire straits like Sean's saying, but they're wanting some influx of funds. And to sell off the whole, you just said they were stupid to sell off the whole Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I don't believe they're going to do that. I don't believe it.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, David Zaslav.
They removed it. I know you checked some of the stuff,
dude,
but they said that's
and it's on Tubi, so they got a licensing fee for it.
What does WB want if they're going to sell that IP? Like, what are they in it for if they're going to sell that huge IP? They're just a Space Jam away from a hit. Like you never know. Like they'll always have that IP. They'll always want that IP because they'll always want filmmakers to have takes. Like there's always going to be different takes on the Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah, and that's why the comment. And you're not the first person to say it, Max. Other people have said this before, and it's a stupid comment.
Like, what's the point of being a studio? They're getting rid of that. Like,
here's the thing: you can't say, "Well, this product, this IP isn't making us money," because if you're not making the IP and marketing it to the people, no shit, it's not making you money. I always go back to Alvin and the Chipmunks, which went off the air in the 1980s, and they didn't do jack shit with it. And then in 2008, out of nowhere, this Alvin and the Chipmunks movie comes out. Guess what? Huge hit. Kids loved it. Leads to like 4 sequels and a revived show on Nickelodeon because you introduced the IP to a new generation. Same thing happened.
You're in a dream world, Joe.
I'm in a dream world called reality. Same thing happened last year with Garfield. We had dumbass, and I like the guy, but he was being stupid about this. We had dumbass John Campea going, today's kids don't care about Garfield. I don't care about Garfield. Why are they making Garfield? They put out Garfield. The movie's a hit because the kids hadn't seen Garfield. You have to put it out there to keep it evergreen.
They made 3 movies, and a huge free-to-play video game. They used and lots of things failed.
What are these 3 projects?
And that you can't blame everything on everything on the pandemic. Space Jam redo or whatever.
Space Jam 2 went direct to television.
I don't care. It didn't do well regardless. It was horrible reception. Horrible
because it sucked. It was a piece of shit.
But the Hollywood does not always get that idea. They get that it didn't succeed. They don't always think. They don't always get that from it. It's the quality that was the reason.
And guess what is
I pitched with Speedy Gonzalez back.
And guess what? Guess what is still one of their most beloved properties?
What?
Space Jam 1, which I don't understand because Space Jam 1 sucks too.
Yeah,
Space Jam 1 is a big piece of shit.
No, it's not.
But
it's
awful.
Well, besides
but
Bill
90s
Murray,
kids love it for some odd reason.
I didn't even like it in the 6th grade. I was like, this is garbage, except for Bill Murray. He was hilarious.
The only reason they made a Space Jam 2 is because you had a whole generation that was going, I love Space Jam.
And that movie's based on commercials too.
I don't want
commercial thing ever.
Voltaire's our co-host. I don't want him to be drowned out by these strong opinions, but Voltaire, the context is that me and Joe completely disagree, and we need your input here. They did Space Jam 2. I don't care about I'm not doing the pandemic excuse. It went like a thud on Max. No one cared.
We can't have it. We can't have something that completely proves the issue. So
and they did a huge free to play video game with lots of Looney Tunes characters that's being pulled the plug on. They had the 2 projects that they shelved. So they have tried to use it.
Wait a minute. Did you just say they had a big video game that they pulled the plug on?
Yes.
So it never saw the light of day.
No, it did, and it did not have the user base. So when a free to play game, it's free, Joe. There's Looney Tunes characters you could play for free, and no one's interested.
There's even Jason characters.
Was the game shitty like that Disney game you recommended?
No, that Disney game's awesome.
Because my kids downloaded that Disney game and they got rid of it. They said this game sucks and they deleted it.
No, it's very good. Actually, Tron's out right now, Joe.
Why would they release Tron now and not when the movie's coming out?
What's that? Why is Tron coming out now when the movie's? I don't know. They're probably going to have a special character when the Tron movie comes out.
They better, Max. Okay. They better.
So Voltaire, I'm giving context. They have tried, but they've shelved 2 projects. I don't think that there's the interest there, even though I love the Looney Tunes. So what do you think, Voltaire?
I don't think they're selling the IP. I just don't.
That's so stupid.
it would be stupid. I hate to say it. It would be dumb. IP is what it's worth. Now, listen, when they shelved that Coyote movie, I thought it was dumb that they were going to shelve it. Why don't you sell it Sony style? At least get it out there for whatever you can get, and maybe you get some buzz around the character so you can create more IP. Because Joe's point is valid in the respect that kids need to see stuff to get addicted to it. Will kids love the Looney Tunes like they did back in the day? I don't know, but you need to put stuff out there for that to happen, right? And I don't think they get that much for the IP that it would be worth it for them to sell it at this point. Like selling IP is so. Remember when Marvel sold all their IP, they were in dire straits. When you sell IP, you're dying, and I don't think they're there yet, Max. That's my point, right?
I also think it's different with Marvel. They weren't selling the IP. Like they were selling the rights to different like studios for like the screen. Right. You know?
Yeah.
Like this is different. Like we're talking about selling the characters, all that. Like again, I'll reiterate, they're one Space Jam away. They just need the right foot. They need another Greta Gerwig that has an awesome pitch, and they'll be right back. They'll be right back in there. You know, and they'll be hitting themselves in the foot if they sell it off and someone does it.
I don't agree. I think they need a show that kids start watching and falling in love.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. Like for everyone, Barbie was for everyone.
Yeah, they need a show for kids that parents can put on while the kids are sitting and eating their lunch or something like that. And
okay, so here's the update, because Joe looked a little bit. There are some Looney Tunes certain projects on there, but the original shorts are now removed. Deadline confirmed with the representative that the original shorts are no longer a max. This is an other spin-off version of Looney Tunes remain on the service, including 6 seasons of 2020's Looney Tunes cartoons.
They might be trying to do some Disney Vault action, maybe, where it's like they're going to put these characters away for a little bit and then do a mega explosion later on. You know, Disney does that stuff sometimes.
Well, it came out today that that the rights went to Tubi. Tubi got all the classic Looney Tunes cartoons. So this sounds like it's just another case of Zaslav looking for a licensing fee, like he did with all the DC stuff that he stuck on Tubi.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll I guess we'll see. I think something's going on there. I really. People think I'm more of a conspiracy theorist with the movie stuff. I think there's also something going on with Batgirl and the timing of that when we're talking about certain projects being sold. And I would not be surprised at all if they sell Looney Tunes, because I do feel
what do you think? What specifically do you think is going on with Batgirl? Who released it and for what? So they why not
get some free buzz to see if people were interested, see if there's negotiating behind the scenes if someone wants to take it on.
Why would they do it with those dailies though?
To show it has some cool legit action, to show it looks like a fun project. There was even the scene where he's in the restroom when Batgirl's fighting, and the guys grabbing more toilet paper. He barely has a square to spare.
It felt too unpolished for it to be like hey guys, look.
No, but that's what do you think happened with the Snyder Cut? Yes,
well, the Snyder Cut had like amazing photos and stuff.
Before it was released, there was stuff like that.
No, I don't think there was uncut like daily footage. I think they'd had like awesome photos that even like Snyder himself would post of black and white, and they looked very like processed and.
So you're thinking because of the quality of it that it
this is not like you're not going to sell this to audience. Like this is not like you don't do like studios don't do this to garner audience.
Why not? Why wouldn't they? There's all kind of stuff.
If they do, they're not going to do it through dailies, unprocessed dailies. And they're like, look, and then they're like, what? Look, studios, look at how much people are interested in this. That's ridiculous.
I don't think so.
I know.
I think it got a lot of
weird.
It got a lot of buzz. If someone's interested in it, it shows it has great action and it shows like it's a fun project. To me,
but why not have a small edit? Why do it like that? It's an unedited dailies. Like
do something do something that costs nothing to release. See if it gets some buzz. See if someone wants to do something with it.
Dude, I could have done that edit.
Okay, but this costs nothing to release this, and see if there's free press there and people are still interested in the project.
There's not going to be because it's unprocessed like footage.
I mean, they did.
It's not going to. There's not.
I mean,
Bad
Boy. The last Bad Boys came out, but they showed stuff like that of Will Smith, that type of sequence. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
That was way more stylized.
What's your theory on why that stuff was leaked?
I think just to be in the conversation, some people had that were in the caster crew had that, and they just put it out there
because they saw the timing of all this.
Yeah, this is like, hey, why not? This would be a good time to put it out there.
You guys are killing all my theories.
You know,
I really okay.
If you want to have a spicy theory, they did it as an FU to WB because it is unprocessed. It makes them look bad.
What if they did it to look that way, Perp? So people like you would think, oh no, the studio would never do this.
It's like the studios, if they want someone to buy it, they're going to deal with the studios. They're not going to have a public thing just like see, and they're not going to release it like that.
Well, no, but social.
They go to the freaking Warner Brothers talks to Paramount. They go to the freaking office buildings to discuss this shit. They don't do it like this.
Why do you think that?
Social media bite, they can go in and say, "Look, this garbage clip released, and look how much people love it."
Look what happened with Ketchup Entertainment. Look what happened with the Toxic
Avenger
movie.
Like,
all this stuff starts with the ground level with fans to see if it gets traction, and then the buyer comes in like Ketchup Entertainment. People were asking for.
I think it's more likely that these things are caught by like different. There's different avenues in a big cast and crew. There's different tiers, and footage has to go through so many people that some people that don't have anything to gain from Warner Brothers, don't have anything to lose from Warner Brothers, aren't working with Warner Brothers probably anymore. I think just release the footage.
I think the reason I'm more likely right than you are is just the conversation. Just the conversation that starts. First off,
sure.
You don't.
I love talking about the background movies, so I don't care.
You don't have to edit anything. You don't have to put in extra money. You just release it, and then you have the instant conversation of what's going on with Batgirl. What's going on with Batgirl? Why is this released now? It doesn't look finished. All this free conversation is very interesting and
that's fine, but that's not the same as general. Like, I really want to see that. So it's this conversation. It's a freak show conversation because it's like something unprecedented kind of happened, and it's a big deal. And now you're getting more, and for me, it hurts. It's like, damn, dude, like that. I really want to see that fucking movie.
So you're calling it a sizzle reel or an attempt at marketing, whereas I think it's just an attempt to get something to go viral with the public.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. Well, but that's not to get bought because the person that released that isn't in charge of that. I guarantee it isn't doesn't have the rights, isn't doing any of that.
Well, yeah, it could be either one. We don't know, obviously.
It's not like a studio to garner interest of buying. It's not the Warner Brothers sneakily doing that. If that's where you're.
Well, I mean, that's why Ketchup Entertainment even got involved with Coyote versus Acme is because of the fan movement about it, and wasn't anything professionally.
It's not the fan, dude. Can you be a little more cynical? You don't like the studios, right? Maybe it's not the fan movement that they maybe it's because it's a chance for them to get publicity. It's like because they saw all those people getting it. It's now they get in the papers. They're the ones that get to save it. And they look good. It's a marketing thing.
Yeah, and the word is that Coyote versus Acme is an excellent film. And here you got this movie that is supposedly, from everyone who's seen it, including people like Lord and Miller, terrific. And we know for a fact Ketchup Entertainment doesn't have a whole lot of money to market films. So if they can get a movie like that already has viral buzz behind it, that's a good move for them.
Here's another reason to keep the footage like this. When someone steps in, that if they do pony up the money, Perp, it really looks like they're saving it. It's better for the company that's going to buy it too.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But it's more of a marketing. That's what happened with Ketchup. Everyone knows about Ketchup because they saved that movie.
Yes. Right. So releasing
it
this way, you're I'm not saying it's not possible your take. Yeah, it's someone from this crew that had it
that has nothing to do with
I don't go with your theory that there's no way that the Warner Brothers isn't involved to get some people to buy some of these projects that are just hanging around.
There's no way Warner Brothers would release something like
that. They're just in the talks with selling Coyote versus Acme.
Yes. Did you see anything of Coyote versus Acme being released beforehand?
There were certain scenes and images.
No, there was the same images that were done probably that was supposed to be for the marketing when the movie was supposed to come out. Those same images kept coming out. Those were released, but there's no footage. They didn't do it like dailies. It's the marketing that they had for it. Just like if they were going to do Batgirl, they'd probably release some of the marketing they had planned for it.
I feel like there was more buzz for the Coyote movie than there was for
Absolutely.
Batgirl.
Well, it had actors. People were really interested.
Bruce, I will correct you here, Bruce. Hey, Bruce. Hey, buddy. Go check out his new series. His new comic book series, On the Hunt, I believe it's called. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so you're basing the 60 to 70 million on what the Snyder Cut was. That's not going to be every project. Zach, from what Zach said, this is from Zach's mouth, not Warner Brothers, is they wanted him to release it as is, and he refused. And that's probably
however,
let me finish, Bert. That's probably why they wouldn't want to work with him again in the future. He absolutely stood his ground. I am not going to let you release something. It's not my vision, because then people are going to say it was right about my movie not being good. So he got all that extra money put in there. Not every project's going to take 60 to 70 million. We don't know how much it's going to be to finish.
Was Coyote did that finance pass through the whole tax thing, or is that only for Batgirl?
I don't know that was the first time I heard from Joe that they didn't get the tax credit.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works.
They didn't take the tax write-off because they.
But Batgirl's still like the most effed out of all of them.
Yeah, Batgirl, they took the tax write-off.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's what I was gonna say. The only hope for Batgirl is a company, some small company. How Ketchup is being mentioned now. They're coming up. Even if they take a loss, the company's like. It's in the forefront. People are talking about it. That's always good. Hopefully there's another company that takes a loss for Batgirl. I don't see that happening. Like that's a hope, that they're like, you know what, we'll do it just to be in the papers and be heroes to some fanboys. Now
to go on Bruce's comment though, it would take money to finish that movie.
Yes.
But there was practical effects though. How much it's not going to be the special effects like the Snyder Cut with a Steppenwolf.
No.
So it's not going to be exact scenario. It's going to cost something.
I would fucking do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. Oh my god.
Oh, I want to see it. I hope we get to see it. I hope we get to see the Ayer cut too. The movie was way over budget before VFX was added. Okay.
Sure.
Well,
it's like I said, a company's going to have to take a loss and try to just get in the papers from it. I don't know what smaller company would have that money to do it anyway. I don't know how much did Ketchup pay for Blow Up Earth or whatever. Anyone know?
I don't know.
I don't know about that one, but the one they're talking about.
We don't know about anything. We're like,
no. The one we're talking about now is 50 million. I don't know how much for the one they already released though.
How would that? So was there any rumors about the one that released? How come they got the number for this one, these scoopers, but not that one?
That's like Deadline. Deadline's reporting it.
That still counts.
It's still sort. Yeah, it's still a rumor.
Yeah,
but it's more.
I'm not buying this more and more.
Wait, Ketchup Entertainment just bought them.
How come we don't know how much they bought the other one for?
I just don't know. I don't have all the info. I didn't.
I assume Joe would know if it.
I wasn't thinking that.
Well, because I don't really care. Like all I care about is the movie good? Like that behind the scenes stuff doesn't matter to me. It's like, is it a good movie? And I can tell you, I saw Day the Earth Blew Up twice. It's a good movie.
All right. Well, I guess we can move on to another. I don't have anything else to say because you killed all my theories.
I didn't kill. I have other theories. Your theories are still there.
All right. What? What's going to happen? I think Warner Brothers is starting to feel more desperate. I do.
Why would they be feeling more desperate now when they're turning a profit? It was just reported in the trades that they've had like their best year and that they did really well last year. Like why wouldn't they be desperate 2-3 years ago, but now when things are turning around, they're desperate? Like that doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, I think they were always somewhat of desperation, but they want
everyone.
Every studio.
They're no desperate than any other company.
No, and yes, they had some successes last year.
What's Universal doing right now?
They also had stuff
praying for that Jurassic Park movie.
From what we've heard, Zaslav is really pissed on certain projects like Joker 2, the Gyllenhaal Frankenstein's Bride movie, and some other projects.
Did he even greenlight the Joker 2 movie? Was he even in there?
No, Abdi and yes, Zaslav was there, but Abdi and DeLuca, that was greenlit. That would have anyone would have greenlit that. Yeah. That's why I get mad at him for that one, because who wouldn't greenlight Joker 2 after it made that first one?
Yeah, especially after you lost Nolan, you're gonna let him do whatever he wants. The director
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. That's a movie everyone at that studio wanted. Unless that's a movie the fans were begging for. The fans desperately wanted a Joker 2, and then they got it and they hated it. So that just goes more to no one was asking for this. Well, even when you do ask for it, you don't want it. So there you go.
All right. Well, let me. I did find some proof to. Hold on. Let me bring this up here. Where's the article?
By the way, my review of Snow White is now live on my channel.
Cool.
Did you take your girls, Joe?
Not yet. I'm going to probably try to take them in a couple days.
General consensus positive? Can you at least give us that?
Well, Joe's going to have fun.
What's the general consensus, though? Give us
I really enjoyed it. Today, well, not anymore today because it's been 22 minutes, but, it was my birthday, so I went to the movies.
Happy belated.
Thank you. I did a double feature. I saw Snow White and then Novocaine, and they were both great.
What a double feature!
Yeah, Novocaine.
I think all the Disney fans should go do that.
Yeah, Novocaine's really something special.
I want to see that. Yeah,
Novocaine is Novocaine. All the people who were like, "Oh, there's no original ideas." Well, guess what? There's something really good and really original out right now, and you're not seeing it because it's doing bad.
It's original. It's all a virtue signal.
I might ask my wife if she wants to see Snow White next week. Okay, so this is.
I'm doing Novocaine.
I found something else to prove Joe wrong. No, I'm just kidding. My opinion is that I want to clip this part out. Tell me if Voltaire, you're the expert here. Well, you're not the expert, but give us your opinion on this. I'm rusty today. I'm very sleepy. Okay, so I found this about the attitude at Warner Brothers last year compared to where it seems like they're selling for $50 million now. And I want you to see this. Okay, this is via Deadline, The Wrap. Okay, so the decision is not a surprising one as children's animation has long been a steady decline. Last year, the parent company shuttered Cartoon Network. Where? No. I had it on a different article. No. I bring up the wrong article. Sorry. I'm very sleepy. Hold on. I had it perfectly. I had the part of the article that I wanted.
Yeah, I'm sleepy.
I am sleepy. Okay, here it is. This
you
is
see
the part.
Piglet yet?
This is the part of the article that I wanted to read. Okay, according to the Wrap, Amazon, Netflix. This is a year ago compared to where they're close to making the sale for a fraction of what they were going to do before. According to the Wrap, Amazon, Netflix, and Paramount were more than interested in securing the rights to debut Coyote vs. Acme for themselves after Warner Brothers changing stances and gave the filmmakers behind the live-action CGI hybrid projects a chance to shop around to other studios. But while each of the studios reportedly submitted handsome offers for the rights, with Paramount even including plan for theatrical release, they all fell short of 75 to 80 million figure WB was apparently looking for. Studios being bullish about the prices they're willing to sell distribution rights off is one thing, but WB reportedly came out of the gate flat out refusing to hear any counteroffers. And that's the context that I want to say I feel like something has changed in a year, and I do feel they're more desperate. I wanted to...
Yeah, what changed is they didn't get what they were asking for. Mm-hmm. It says it right there.
They were bullish. They didn't want to hear counteroffers.
I could totally see Max's perspective.
Yes.
Because he's... when the stuff you see, the news, your Twitter feed, even Grace's video last year of how like Sinners isn't looking good, all this other stuff WB has lined up looking good. I can see why your perspective is, man, it just feels like WB's not.
I'll give you another reason why they would rather sell it to a catch-up than a Paramount. Because they shelved this thing. They shelved this thing, and if this thing comes out and is $1 billion movie, it's going to be very embarrassing because they saw this as no way we can do this. So to sell it to a little indie distributor who doesn't have the money to really market this makes them have less egg on their face.
There must be so many indie, because there's a lot of like success stories last year that happened with like the distribution companies that came out of nowhere. Like Shudder was in the theaters, Mubi with The Substance and some other films suddenly was in the forefront. Neon became a like almost A24 competition. Like, it's crazy. So I think there's other distribution companies like, yeah, we're looking for that too. And who knows? They could be like biting at freaking Warner Brothers, like, give us this shit. Give us this shit.
So here's the thing. Okay, just from a negotiation standpoint, I think that's where Max said that my input comes in. Everybody's correct here today. You can all be correct, by the way. None of you are wrong. They wanted 75 to 80 million.
Yes.
They weren't getting it. When you're negotiating, your biggest power is to say, screw you, I'm done, and walk away. Remember that when you go to a car dealership, everybody. Be ready to walk away from the deal. That is your biggest leverage point. So maybe they were at 75 to 80 million, and they were like, we're not listening to anything less. Leave us alone. We'd rather shelve it and let it sit there, and we don't care. But time passed, right? And they weren't getting any bites. They weren't getting any nibbles. They didn't file whatever the tax thing was. So now they take what they can get, which is 50 million. Now, is that desperation? Yes.
I think so.
Yes, it is. If you're backing off your original negotiation stance to that level, if those numbers are true,
that's a significant change. Yes. And attitude and money. Yes.
Attitude is a thing, right? You are willing to say, I'm walking away from the table. Now you're coming back. You walked away from the car dealerships. I'm not paying that much. And then they said, okay, see you later. So then you walked back. Whoever comes back into the
like our current president says, you have no cards anymore.
Well,
you're not playing with any cards if you do this.
Are.
If you do this deal now,
yeah,
they acted like they had some cards a year ago, and now they're acting like they're about to fold. They don't.
Or
have
from
any.
A dating perspective, they double texted. You know, you text somebody, they don't respond to you, and then you're waiting. So you double text. You text back like, "Hey," even though they didn't respond to me, I'm going to send that. When you send that double text, you've lost your leverage.
It's over. They know. They know.
Everybody's correct is my point. But yes, they lost leverage. They lost leverage because they were asking for too much. You know, however you want to interpret that.
Here's what it says there. Well, let's get this more context, then we'll move on to some other topics and close it out. And listen, everyone, the mic drop phone number's down there. If you want to leave some mic drops for next week, I'm going to be giving away $20 cash. PayPal or Cash App. I got to figure it out again, but I will be. Okay, so it says there are any number of reasons why Warner Brothers could trot out to explain why it repeatedly turned its nose up at the chance to make a bit of easy money, but now they're not. By letting someone else put out a movie it wants nothing to do with, we'll probably never know the truth. But it really, and I'm shocked that people aren't going back to a year ago to cover this part of it, or really even be a topic conversation at this point. It's certainly a choice and one the company seems intent on sticking to. Not a year later, but it's hard to imagine that inspiring so much confidence in the filmmakers still working with the studio. Okay, and then we'll see if Scooby-Doo gets some traction next.
Actually, that is something Christine and I were talking about. We were saying when this rumor came out that they were talking about selling Looney Tunes, we were saying, what does that entail? Let's say for a second that was true and they were going to sell the Looney Tunes brand. What all is covered under the Looney Tunes brand? Because obviously Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, those guys, but is Tiny Toon Adventures covered under that? Is Animaniacs covered under that?
Depends on the deal. It depends on what kind of deal they sign.
Because I think most fans consider them linked. That is
I do think Tiny Toons is more popular than Looney Tunes right now with the younger generation.
Agree with that. Didn't they try to re-release Animaniacs a couple of years ago or something?
Yeah, it went over pretty well on Hulu. Animaniacs went over pretty well. Then Max, because Max was foolish, they owned it and they gave it to Hulu.
I thought you were saying I'm foolish.
No. Max foolishly gave Animaniacs over to Hulu. So then they saw it being a success on Hulu, and they're like, "Well, we still have Tiny Toons." And then they rebooted Tiny Toons, but they did it all wrong. Because whereas Hulu kept the original voice actors and kind of kept the spirit of the original show, for Tiny Toons they recast all the voices and they changed. It was a completely different show, and nobody liked it.
Well,
you're getting tired, Perp? I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm in the East Coast.
You've been busy. So am I.
Oh, sorry.
I had a 11.
Yeah, but you're tired too. So
I have an 11. I had 11-hour workday, no nap, and then I exercised and burned 700 calories.
Bro, do you know?
And I didn't eat good. I didn't eat a lot after that. I'm like, I'm tired. Go ahead.
Have you watched the trailer for this film called Drop?
Drop?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that in I saw that which movie? I forget. Probably Brave New World.
It's one of the most hilarious trailers I've ever seen. Everybody, go watch it.
So Rational gave it.
You like when she's almost falling off the building? Is like, what happens?
Thank you, Rational. Zaslav
she's like
is also
the rock skyscrapering.
He's reading a paying customers.
I have a paying customers. This $2 made my night.
You're my number one customer.
Zaslav is also pissed at the JJDC deal.
What is the JJDC
that was one of Hamada's worst.
What is the JJDC?
That's one of Hamada's worst. He was out of there after, like, what can he do?
He was there when they did the JJ deal.
I know, and they were working on it, and then he's out of there.
That wasn't his deal, though.
Well,
you guys got to blame Hamada for everything. I swear to God,
I don't say for everything.
They can't handle the success of Hamada.
I don't. What's success in the DC? There wasn't success. It
was Joker and Aquaman.
Turned DC around.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I just
Birds of Prey was great.
So I like Birds of Prey.
I know you do.
But
you think about other people's opinion when you're summarizing movies.
Okay, so
play the song.
No, that's not allowed here.
That's not allowed here. Sorry.
I'm not playing the Hamada song.
Let's talk quickly about.
I got it on my phone.
The Television World Guy 99. Hello, everyone. That's a cool logo.
Hi, everybody. So let's talk about the hot topic of Snow White for a second. I know, Max, this wasn't planned, but let's do it. So there's a lot of internet negativity towards Snow White. How does that translate? Do little girls want to watch Snow White still nowadays?
Absolutely.
I
got two of them.
Well, not enough of them.
What do you mean not enough of them?
I heard the reception's bad. The numbers are down.
What numbers?
The opening day numbers.
Yeah, so what?
Are soft. They're soft.
So what?
Yeah, but it also proves because it turns out that Rachel Zegler is probably the best parts. What I've been hearing is that she was amazing in it. So it turns out like, she didn't ruin the movie at all.
What's her name? Wonder Woman looks good as the Queen. She's not a great actress, but
man, I've heard she's
very good in it. I heard
Gal's legendarily bad. Like it's I heard she's gonna get nominated for Razzie.
Oh no, she's very good. In fact, she has a song. I didn't know she could sing. She sings well.
Is it better than Michelle Yeoh when she sang in Wicked?
I don't remember her singing.
She's supposed to play an evil, beautiful queen. Like she's still beautiful, but she's evil. She looks the part like perfectly, but she is such a bad actress. My God.
Yeah.
Oh, I disagree. I think she's very good.
We got to bring up Grace's clip. Let me find Grace's clip here.
Oh, why?
Please, we love Grace here, everybody.
No, Grace really.
Female content creator.
It's not hard being the best part of your movie when Gal Gadot's your co-lead.
Oh golly, Anthony Cheeseman with a zinger there. Wow.
Oof.
Well, yeah. How do the dwarves look, Joe? Be honest.
What about the huntsman?
You're a very positive guy.
The dwarves are great. First of all, we're not supposed to call them dwarves because they're magical creatures. And I gotta say, it was genius how they did that. It was absolutely genius how they did that because they have some characters in the movie that are the bandits who serve the king that are living in the forest, and one of them is played by an actor with dwarfism. So by having a human actor with dwarfism in the film and these animated characters who are the magical creatures that live in the forest, it creates a very clear distinction that guess what? Human beings with dwarfism exist within this world, but we also have these things that live in the forest, these magical hundreds of year old creatures. So I thought that was really a stroke.
Yeah, that's such a smart move.
Yeah,
God damn, I wouldn't have thought of that. Damn, that's such a smart PC move. Good job, Hollywood. Like, whoa, shit, that's so smart. I would not have thought of that.
Yeah,
you got to admit that's a smart move, right? Because they were complaining about this, and then you had.
I don't understand the concept. So there's dwarves, and then there's these magical creatures.
Because remember, the guy. I'm sorry,
people.
Peter Dinklage. Remember, Peter Dinklage is like, oh, we're still doing magical dwarves thing, like, and there was pushback against that. There's been pushback against, little people or dwarfism, whatever the correct term is, on like, hey, we don't want to be just used as magical creatures. But then there's also pushback as like, hey, we're actors too. So what Disney did is kind of genius of doing both.
I mean, do you think that dwarves
and it's 100% a cynical PC move.
You think that they see dwarves in the films and they get upset about that?
Who? Dinklage did.
Dinklage did.
Dinklage is special.
Now I have more.
What, he's a special dwarf?
I don't want to.
That's exactly what he's fighting against. You calling him that?
Well, he's
a special
rich.
magical creature dwarf.
He's rich and famous. That's what
he doesn't want to. He doesn't. Listen. I understand Peter Dinklage. He's done a lot for little people in the industry, and you don't want to be typecast. But just like one black person doesn't speak for anyone, one Asian person, one gay person, one straight person doesn't speak for every gay, straight, whatever. One little person doesn't speak for everyone. We should be respectful of their opinion, and I don't think we should be so reactionary like we did for Peter and say we shouldn't do this at all if there were other people interested in the industry that wanted to play those parts. That's my thoughts. Like, can't we be progressive to understand? I respect what you're saying, Peter, not make fun of him and mock him like the antis. Like, he has done a lot for little people, and not to just be typecast for those type of characters. But there are some people that would love to play those characters, and we shouldn't say they shouldn't have those roles at all either.
Sure.
Is that a fair comment?
Also, I don't think that's fair.
I don't know if you guys know this, but you
agree.
remember in Lord of the Rings, the dwarf tossing joke?
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, in real life, people started doing that to little
that's
people?
Gross. Yeah.
That's what we're saying. It's like
Max, what
I
you're
thought it was
saying,
a good move for
I'm going to draw a comparison to what you just said there, Max. Because there's little people that are willing to play the dwarf roles, that doesn't make it right.
because there's nothing else.
That doesn't make it right, because let's not forget that back in the early days of film, Stephen Fetchit was willing to play that role, despite the fact that it was incredibly racist. Because it was
there was nothing else for them to play.
Yeah. There are other roles for little people to play now, and they still might like
normal human beings, which is what Snow White did.
You're saying it's dehumanizing just to take that role?
No, if you do, but the problem is that there was nothing but those roles for little people.
There isn't anymore. That's not true.
I don't see a lot of little people.
Peter Dinklage prove that's wrong.
Right, exactly. But to say that they shouldn't have those roles at all anymore, and that it's dehumanizing potentially.
So Peter Dinklage is an asshole. Here's why. He played the role of Tyrion. That's what really he had other acting roles and that kind of thing, but he played Tyrion Lannister, who
was based on his identity.
He was an ugly, monstrous creature that was hated.
Yeah.
Okay. And they cast a dwarf in it, and he was cool with that, but he doesn't want other dwarves cast in a role.
Yeah, because it transcended that whole dwarf thing, and that. There was
most of the times.
But for the most part, they're just magical creatures and freaking Willow and all this stuff.
Yeah, most of the time, Peter Dinklage has played a role like that. So it has been like, don't forget Elf.
So you're saying it's so let me phrase it like this. Thank you, Joe. Let me phrase it like this.
I didn't finish my sentence, but go on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, don't forget he played that role in Elf too, where they were calling him an elf and he was offended and he's like, "Don't call me an elf." Like, anytime you've seen him in a role like that, it has been a role where he is what do you call it? Subverting all of that.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I was going to get to. So it's okay to have this type of role if he gets the role based on his identity, because the character of Tyrion Lannister was dealt with being a small person in that universe. If there's some social commentary that addresses that in story, that's the difference.
Well,
that's the difference, because that role was based.
They want better. They just want better roles. Okay?
Yes,
that's it.
Yeah, but in that role,
the Tyrion Lannister
prejudice
or whatever
against it. Yes, it was a meaty. It had a lot of commentary on being a little person in that world.
Yeah. And in the case of Snow White, it quite frankly wouldn't have worked if they had actors playing those roles and not
disagree.
Because they wouldn't have been fun. It wouldn't have been fun and cartoony. It would have been more mundane. Like putting the cartoony dwarves in there, or I shouldn't call them dwarves. I don't know. They never give their species a name in the movie.
Just call them little people, I guess.
But it was more fun that way. They bore more of a resemblance to their animated counterparts. It gave them all the little trademarks, and it was a lot more. And I'll tell you something I really enjoyed. There's a scene where they're in the mines and they're going down these like roller coaster tracks in a mine car, and it's like, wow, they have them riding mine cars that look like the Seven Dwarfs mine train at Disney World. Like that is corporate synergy, man. That is corporate synergy.
Good point, Bruce. How long ago was Game of Thrones? Things have changed since then. But I disagree that there shouldn't ever be another character that's a little person where a little person can play it just because it's based on their identity.
And you guys remember, there's a famous scene.
This is not an elf.
From Elf, where Peter Dinklage is a big CEO and he's at a big conference room and he wants to go after the guy. And what does he do? He jumps on top of the table and runs across the table like a dwarf and attacks the person.
What do you mean,
he's
like
okay doing these comical dwarf things, but
dude, no,
because that was
Elf. That was in 2000.
It.
Elf was in 2004.
Right.
Again, these people had to do those roles because they didn't have anything else.
But
once he
also
opened the door and he showed like, hey, we could do roles that are just regular people, right? We don't have to be the butt of a joke.
In that role, though, he was showing that they were not that. He was offended when he was calling him an elf. He beat the guy up. He's talking about how rich he is. He was subverting that, and that was brilliant.
Hey, Larry, how's it going? The little people in Snow White are not treated bad. They're not they're not tossed around and stuff like that. They're a good part of the story. They help Snow White.
Okay.
So I don't understand why it's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's also a different take because how many Snow White iterations probably used little people? Like
well, and look at
theater,
Willow.
From theater to everything, and now they want to do something different and do CGI when they
Peter
can.
Dinklage did do a movie after what was that movie after Game of Thrones success where
Days of Future Past?
No. Where he was playing a little person too. I think it was a funny
Pixels.
It was like a Dungeons and Dragons type movie with Seth Rogen or
Endgame.
Knights of Badassdom.
Something like that. I don't remember. Okay.
The movie that put him on the map was The Station
Tiptoes.
I don't know.
Like the movie that his career was built on was The Station Agent.
Correct. That was what he was considered a serious actor.
Right.
I never saw. No, I give respect to Peter Dinklage, but I don't think we should be reactionary and just listen to him as the only voice on the little people move. And we should never have rules that have been in
someone
movies.
just asked him, and he answered.
Oh no, that's fine. I know, but I'm saying I think
opinion.
we were too reactionary based on his feelings. When there's other opinions out there. That's
but
what
I'll tell you this though: if we had 7 actors with dwarfism playing that role and not the CGI creatures, would have been a lot less fun.
I hate to see that
movie is enhanced by those creatures.
What's the alternative when you have a character that's can in the past paid by little people? For example, Willy Wonka. It had Hugh Grant as a CGI character. I don't know what the answer is, but it isn't that. I mean, that's the one scene I've seen from Willy.
Yeah,
Wonka.
but again, he was playing a mythical creature. He was playing an.
Yeah, you want them all as mythical creatures.
He wasn't playing a dwarf.
They're not mythical creatures, Max. They're real people with real feelings.
I know, but is that the answer to have to shrink regular size actors down to?
Yeah, it is the answer. You know why? Because now
because
that is the answer. Because now you get to have
Hugh
Grant or any other A-list or B-list actor. Yes. That's what they're going to do.
I think that's the wrong.
They're going to have Scarlett Johansson as Tinkerbell and not a little person. Yeah.
So no, I think that's not good at all.
Okay, but that's what it is.
I think that's reversed.
No, because then other people, including you, won't see the movie.
I mean,
you won't see the movie, Max. You won't see the movie of those little people. You need your actor. You need Shrunken, so you are invested in watching your movies because you're all star effers.
That's what I was going to mention. Warwick Davis.
Wait a minute, Bruce.
Warwick Davis is a name now.
He's made a career the whole time playing little
but
characters.
You grew up with him. There's not going to be an up and coming little person actor.
I gotta ask Bruce. Bruce, do you really put it back up? Put it back up.
We haven't heard Larry yet.
But I just got to say to Bruce, do you really think we can't name another famous little person? What you talking about, Bruce?
Also, Eric the actor. Shout out. Rest in peace.
Yeah, Eric the actor.
Hey, Larry, are you there?
Hey, Big Nose.
Larry, are you there?
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Fly me with
let's move
balloons.
on from the little. We're not going to agree on the little people topic. Me and Voltaire have a certain take, and
I
They
don't
prefer to
even
be
think
called
Voltaire- I don't
the
even think you think. I don't even think you
I
know
don't like
Voltaire's
the white
take.
knighting for these people that ultimately screws these people. I want to hear from them. You know what I mean? Like, they want these roles. You know, it gives them a chance to do some acting. It gives them whatever. Now, is it so demeaning that they're playing dwarves? No.
Where'd Larry go?
You know, so we think it's demeaning to them, so we're going to take these roles away.
I think it's worse that
I think be a multi-millionaire and you're taking roles away.
But they didn't take a role away. There was
We just said that they added them as
was in the
normal human
movie.
I think the worst. I think the worst scenario is that we don't hire little people at all.
They did hire little people.
That don't want to. That we're assuming that none of them want to play these characters because it's demeaning, and then you get Hugh Grant or like you. Who did you say Perp for Tinkerbell and shrink them down?
Yeah.
I think that's worse. It looks odd to me.
No, but that's how you get people to watch the movies.
What?
Yes.
Oh God, Larry, you there?
Because their names, they're
Bruce,
people want to go.
Bruce,
see
I
the
know you
actors.
said Max, but come on, I had a zinger. I had to get it out. You can't deny me a zinger.
Oompa Loompa. Let me.
Yes,
look this up.
Tony Cox. Tony Cox is a good one. Rational Skeptic is saying.
What do you think, Voltaire? About is the answer putting Hugh Grant as a Oompa Loompa? I don't think so.
What actor would you have put, Max?
If someone wanted to, I mean, it's gonna be like the.
No, name an
Willy
actor.
Wonka.
Name an actor, because you know Hugh Grant. That's why you're saying the name. That's why they put him there.
Maybe
I don't take away work from these other people. Look, I'm the guy who thinks that
you think those little people? You think little people are saying that, or are they saying write us better roles other than that? Like make us the star of an action movie, and then you guys will start bitching. Believe you me,
like,
that can't be an action star.
Just like people who look ugly and are actors who could have played the Penguin. See Colin Farrell in a fat suit and an ugly suit, 3 hours of makeup, and like, why the hell didn't they give me a shot?
You're incorrect here, Bruce. Disney was completely reactionary after Peter Dinklage went viral after his comments.
Wrong.
No, Max.
Wrong.
Disney does not react to
Wrong.
Yes, they did.
Dinklage.
Nope.
It was at the very beginning stages.
Ridiculous.
At the very beginning stages.
Now I know. Now, guys, now I know I can't take anything you say.
No,
oh my god.
They announced that they're going to do a Snow White, and Peter Dinklage was interviewed, and they said, "Okay, we're not going to do that." They responded to it even.
Yeah, they said it was going to be magical creatures.
Yeah.
They were reactionary to
that
event.
No, what Bruce is talking about is the picture of the bandits came out, and everyone's like, we don't like this.
That was later on.
And then everybody was like, see, they changed it. They went and added these CGI dwarves because nobody
you guys have your little lore.
Those characters.
This is the thing. You guys live in your echo chambers and you create these
characters in the photo are in the movie.
Listen,
listen,
Perpy. Listen, Perpy. You and people
up,
in the chat. I know movie talk and news just like Bruce knows comic books. I follow this stuff. I remember when it was first announced, it was a big thing when Peter Dinklage did that. There's about a lot of traction.
Mm-hmm.
It was also a big culture war topic because all the antis.
Disney does not.
Oh my god! Of course, that's why.
Yes, you think they changed a whole multi-billion-dollar project because of an actor saying something in an interview?
It was at the beginning stages.
Wait. Max is partially right. But I think he's jumping.
I'm right.
Well, you're rarely right, but you're partially right here. But you're jumping to conclusions. Disney came out. Peter Dinklage made his comment. Disney came out and said these are going to be magical creatures. That was all Disney said. Disney did not say we are now altering our plans.
Yeah, they never.
Okay. They just happened to be right after Peter Dinklage. It had nothing to do with it. Okay.
What are you talking about?
We're not altering. Okay, so they made a statement that we're going to do magical creatures now, right after Peter Dinklage made that comment.
You think Disney was wait, hold on. At one point, no, hold on.
You think
I'm sorry, you thought Disney was actually going to cast little people before?
Yes.
You're insane. Have you seen their movies before? Have you seen their movies? Have you seen what they've been doing with their remakes? And you think suddenly they're not going to use CGI for the
I don't think they would have called them dwarves, but I think they would have still cast them, yes.
No. They would have used CGI because that's what they've been doing with literally every remake. What Will Smith? Oh, I think Will Smith was originally going to be like the body of Will Smith.
Why would you do
and the whole
CG?
thing until there was pushback, and then they CGI'd him as the genie.
It's called
You guys
IP.
That's
it's
ridiculous.
IP.
You don't even look at the history of how they've been working. Literally every movie before
They did Snow White live action with Kristen Stewart, and they had little people.
That's not Disney.
That long ago.
That's not Disney.
Disney.
That's not Disney.
They
needed, my God.
That's Warner Brothers. In fact,
this is Walt Disney's. This is Walt Disney's Snow White.
You thought they were going to have CGI dwarves?
Why would you do CGI dwarves?
Because that's literally what they've been doing for everything. Why would you do CGI Beast? Why would you do CGI Lion King? Why would you do CGI Genie?
The Beast and Genie do not exist. We're little
and
neither
do magical dwarves.
Little people that resemble them.
Have you ever seen
except for certain aspects of their physicality?
Yes.
Max, have you ever seen the Seven Dwarves from Snow White?
Have
you ever seen the Snow White Seven Dwarves?
Oh my God!
I heard Disney was originally going to use a real bear for Jungle Book, but then the animal rights people told them to switch. And they had to switch. In fact, every movie is reactionary. Every live action Disney remake is a reactionary because someone was complaining.
You don't think the studios are reactionary in these days?
Not Disney. Not to that degree. These things are planned out 2 years beforehand. No.
Larry, are you there? Voltaire, you've left me away.
I think Perp is delusional. I don't know.
I think you guys
are
delusional.
dwarves in real life. Why wouldn't they hire dwarves?
I can't believe you think they were going to put a Snow White, like a movie with CGI. They have any excuse to use CGI. You understand that, right?
Consistently
like
use
every movie.
They
you know how low budget that shit would look if they just had like little people there. Compared to Little Mermaid, this is the year after the Little Mermaid, the year after fucking Lion King, the year after all that, and suddenly they're gonna look like a freaking Amazon Prime straight to streaming movie. You guys are insane.
Hold on. As a director, you'd rather have CGI dwarves than real actors.
If it's Disney paying the bill, you bet your fucking ass.
Oh my God.
Just because it would be politically incorrect is what you're saying.
No, because I know that Disney has all these resources, and that's what they get to play with.
God damn it, get JD Vance off my screen, Cheeseman.
Anthony is already wrong because I've already seen the movie, and I'm going to see it again.
I'm too tired.
I'm taking my kids to see it.
I'm too tired for this shit.
Nobody on the panel will ever see it. I already saw it.
Well, this ain't the answer.
Are you sure you guys aren't confusing this for the Daily Wire teaser?
Don't compare me to that. I have a lot more nuance than Daily Wire.
Well,
I said you should listen to Peter Dinklage, but you shouldn't be reactionary and just say it as a blanket statement that we're never going to hire little people for these roles. And Larry had to leave again. But this ain't the answer. Look at Hugh Jackman. He looks ridiculous.
I'm just going to say it would have.
I would have CGI'd Gal Gadot too.
I'm just gonna say if they had hired 7 little people to play that role, it would have
looked so cheap. It would have looked cheap.
You're going to take away roles from beautiful women.
No, not only that, they would have also. There's another layer before you even get to hiring real people. They would have done the freaking Hobbit shit where they hire actors and then do some CGI trickery to make them look little.
Necessarily think
there's so many levels that Disney would have gone before you actually think they hired little people.
I don't.
There's so many tiers before that. That's why crap.
I don't like what they've done in Lord of the Rings of Power either, because they hire normal sized people and make them look small.
Yeah, that's a tier that Disney would have considered way before hiring little people.
You know what, Max? Like, you know why they do that? So they don't get heat from Joe, Perp, and Lucifer.
Here's the bottom line.
There's so many movies and shows without little people. We're not saying shit about it.
Max keeps shouting me down. He doesn't want to hear this. But here's the bottom line.
Oh my God.
Disney has these characters, the 7 dwarves. They're Walt Disney characters. They have a very distinctive look. And you know what? They appear on merchandise all over the theme parks.
Chubby Teddy.
They appear on merchandise. They appear on T-shirts. There's dolls of them. So these characters could not look like 7 little people. They needed to have very distinct looks, the giant ears on Dopey and all that stuff, because part of the reason they're doing these live action remakes, the whole reason they're doing these live action remakes is to refresh these IP and keep them in the public eye. So it would be counterproductive to just have 7 little people in this movie. You need them to be Walt Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and they need to resemble those cartoon characters. To not do that would be massively stupid.
You guys are so like you really like Disney is outthinking you guys like so hard. If like you really think like they change course and all that, like you have no idea what's going on over there.
There's facial features on the little people that make them distinct. If it was a normal size
character, they would have hired named actors before they get there because their little people aren't a name. What name? They're not going to have those names. People aren't going to watch that movie.
I want representation for little people.
Felix Silla passed away. He's not available.
You really think that they were just going to hire no-name little people and
yeah. And then give them an opportunity.
You're insane. They didn't even do that for the last.
Why would Disney do that?
Why would Disney do that for their summer Disney remake? The one time, like you guys are insane, bro. You don't even look at what they've released in the past and how their structure works. Like in the rollout of the movie themselves, from casting Will Smith to CGIing Will Smith to all
it's a genie.
And these are
a genie is a creature that does not resemble a human at all.
And neither did the dwarfs in Snow White. They didn't resemble human. Did you see their heads? Compare their heads. Compare their heads to the head of Snow White, to Prince Charming.
The heads look different.
Huh? They're magical. They were magical creatures.
Okay.
They were magical dwarfs. They're not real life dwarfs. And that's what Disney was doing. And you guys think they're just gonna cast real life like little people? That's it's ridiculous. You're like, come on, man. It's Disney. They're gonna CGI as much as they freaking can.
I have a headache on this. Okay, Perp wins. Whatever. I want to move on. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about the little people anymore.
I don't think he wins.
Okay. This, I do not want to dog Gal Gadot. But what in God's name, why does she have a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame before other people's? Like they said, Al Pacino doesn't even have one.
Somebody must have paid somebody.
No, this is a complete sham. The Hollywood Walk of Fame. I don't want her not to have it, but her ahead of other people is ridiculous. I'm sorry.
So the IDF paid for it, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Now.
Did he pay for
no.
Did Pacino do the paperwork and pay for his star?
I think someone else has to pay for it.
Yeah, there's a process. You have to get paperwork. You have to do all these steps to get a star.
What blew me away is that Christina Ricci got hers last week. I was like, that girl should have had hers like decades ago. Like,
no, come on. Gal Gadot getting a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She was in Fast and Furious and Wonder Woman and a few other movies.
Yeah, she's Wonder Woman alone because it was such a hit. Like, I think, the first superhero, like, yeah, I think that's like it became like a thing, a cultural thing.
Does Linda Carter have a star?
That's a good point. Yeah, she was a thing too back in the
Hey,
day.
Larry,
it all comes down to can
Yeah, could you hear me?
Yes.
Oh my God, 7th time's a charm. What's up, guys?
7 magical creatures.
It's because I had my YouTube app open at the same time, and when I would open StreamYard, like it would get all muted. And I'm like, "What's going on here?" So like, all right, close the YouTube app. Now I figured it out.
Okay, Joe, why
should
Gal Gadot have a star?
Well, she probably did the steps. She probably paid the money and filled out the paperwork and all the things you got to do.
I think it's less credible than the Oscar if it's done like that.
Well, that's the way.
I have less problems with the Oscar situation.
Well, what problem with the Oscar would you have?
I think Joe's right. That's how it goes down.
I don't like that.
I think someone else has to induct you, though.
Yeah, one of the reasons that Walter Koenig was the only Star Trek cast member that didn't have a star. Every other cast member from Star Trek had a star was because Koenig couldn't afford it.
Yes, I heard that.
Dude, where the hell is the cast? Like, when you hear that, doesn't the cast pony up money? Like,
but then there was the case. Then there was the case of Adam West, where Ralph Garman was desperately trying to get him his star, and Hollywood turned down the application a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I wonder who's Hollywood, Mr. Hollywood. Who?
I don't know. Yeah, James B. Hollywood.
James B. Hollywood. Are the hands the same as the star, or is that a separate thing?
That's a different thing. That's from the
what about Elizabeth Sparkle's
theater.
Because I think the hands are more prestigious. Am I right about that or wrong about that?
Elizabeth Sparkle's not ass Beltry. She's awesome.
Our president has
Because the hands are like an honor.
Yeah, I saw the
I'm
president's
trying
hands.
to
They're very
find
small.
the Grace Randolph take on Gal Gadot, and I can't find it.
They're perfectly
man.
normal size.
No, they're big. So yeah, I don't know why Gal Gadot. She doesn't, as far as earning a star, if it's paying for it. This is an example of paying for it. I mean, I don't know how she gets a star.
Why did Christina Ricci wait so
Why
long?
wouldn't
man?
she have a star?
I don't think she's big.
It's-
She's done enough to earn it.
Dude,
She's
Wonder Woman was huge.
She's played
She's
Wonder
Wonder
Woman in like 5 or 6 movies. She did, I think,
She
a
is
couple
Wonder
Fast
Woman.
and the Furiouses. She was in Red Notice. She was in Death on the Nile. Now she's in
She's bad in
Starlight.
all these movies.
Yes.
He looks like
That's
Wonder
neither
Woman.
here
was
nor
the
there.
one
She was
called
great.
there.
She was great as Wonder
Oh, yeah.
Woman. She was great in Death on the
Looks
Nile.
good as Wonder
She was
Woman.
great in Red Notice.
Voltaire, that's hearsay and conjecture.
All right.
Yeah, it could be top. Like she just happened to be in top grossing movies, and it's like, all right, she's in there.
I don't like it. I mean, I don't.
All right.
I would like there's to be some credibility. This is like people that
Is she
don't-
not a
that-
star? I think you have to be a star. I think that's enough
that get Guinness
credibility.
Book of World Records.
She's a star.
and
Here,
they pay
here you
for
go. Here you go. To get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a celebrity needs to be nominated, meet
Yeah.
specific criteria, including professional achievement, longevity in their field, contributions to the community, and guarantee attendance at the dedication ceremony. And then their nomination must be approved by the Walk of Fame committee.
You also have to pay for it.
Yeah.
You guys say that like,
Which
oh my
again,
God,
which again,
duh, yeah, it's
studios-
done in the city. by the
Studios will
city.
pay for it because it's part of the marketing for a film. Whenever a star
So
gets
Disney
a
paid
star
for
in the
this.
Hollywood Walk of Fame,
So why did Christina Ricci get her so late?
ties into a movie that they're out
Okay, so
promoting.
why did Christina Ricci get her so late? Why didn't they do that shit for Speed Racing?
did it for
Could have helped that
Wednesday.
movie.
Adam's Family.
Yeah, they did for
I think there
Wednesday.
should be a certain caliber, and you have to pay for it.
Oh, look!
That's
My girl's there. Patty Jenkins.
Just like when the Avengers got
Oh,
their
yeah.
stars before
That's my
Endgame came out, Disney paid for
The
that.
good
with
news, I
promotion.
found the Grace clip.
Patty Jenkins is my celebrity crush.
All right, so this
Not
is
Kathleen.
I mean, well, Kathleen's an attractive older woman, but Patty Jenkins is more my age.
It's got
that
weird.
makes sense.
all right. Here we go. Grace Randolph.
It's only
Murder
weird because
Victim.
Grace is on the screen.
I like Grace. I believe her here. I don't
No, I know.
dislike Gal
I'm
Gadot.
just kidding.
I don't dislike Gal Gadot, but the only thing I've really enjoyed her in is Wonder Woman.
I mean,
That's it.
she's a really bad actress.
Same here.
I mean,
But she's good in Wonder Woman.
Here we go.
Did you see Red Notice? That was really good.
Oh, she had to
Yeah,
take
that
a
was-
breath. Wait, Joe, you got to hear this.
All right, so I think that there is an irony of having Godot play the evil queen because that's a woman obsessed with beauty. And here's Godot, where that's the only thing that she brings to the role.
Oh,
Here we go.
Oh my god!
man.
Oh
Zig.
my
Can't
god!
She can't act.
So you
Can't
know it's
sing.
wrong because Grace said it.
She can, well, no.
No, quite literally every review I've seen for this movie says
Yeah,
it's
I've heard-
probably her worst performance.
Yeah, I've
She's
heard-
very
I've heard
good in
things.
it.
You know
I've
how
seen
when we
her.
had all the first reactions were extremely positive, Joe, and we said were people wrong? I
You
think
can never listen to social media reactions. They're
That's
never
what
accurate.
that's what I. Yeah, right, RJ. Didn't you tweet? No, you didn't even see them.
Social media reactions.
they weren't
never
wrong,
accurate
though.
to
They weren't
everyone.
wrong,
Yeah,
though.
RJ's flash social media.
They weren't wrong though. It was really good.
Oh, Joe,
The critics would disagree
you
with
take
that.
everything.
I
as
think
is,
there's
you
going to
don't-
be a
As
lot.
well as the cinema score,
To
as well as
Joe's
the cinema
defense, I
score.
think there's going to be a lot of people that if they happen to see it when they were not excited to see it, I think there's going to be people that are surprised. There's
You
like,
just
oh,
by
think
the way,
surprised,
by the
by the
way,
way?
did you see the critics' reviews?
bad.
6%.
No.
I heard it was good.
No. It's like 50-50, and the negative reviews are really positive negative reviews. They're all like
I can't.
That's a
I
thing.
can't. I
They
can't.
are.
No.
Max, that's a thing.
Max
No,
can't
it's
handle
not, it's
facts.
not.
Matt can't
Well,
stand
the
handle
cinema
facts.
score
that's
just
a
came
thing.
out.
Because all the negative reviews say the same thing. They're all like, "Oh, Rachel Zegler's great. The new songs are great. The
Really
songs are
positive
great.
negative review.
Blah blah blah."
No, you know what? You should.
But why?
really
But why
become
was
a
this
criminal
made?
defense attorney?
But why? Why?
No,
did this
no.
happen?
See, Joe's right. He's saying
Joe,
they're
you
like
just-
they did a good job, but
You don't
That's a positive,
Joe,
negative
me
review.
and you have gone back and forth with there's being PR bullshit. I completely believe there's PR bullshit in the industry. And then social media influencers, if they must really like it. Not that there's something to gain with being extremely positive and being a quote on the back of the Blu-ray or the 4K or
the
something like
social
that.
media reactions that
Get
first came out were
attention.
Disney approved
Yes.
ones, so.
And being access. Access is a thing. There could be other reasons. I'm not saying you're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, Joe.
I mean,
but
did
there's
you
a
read the
possibility. There's a
Did you read those
possibility.
reviews?
No, I didn't read them all. No, obviously.
I'm
I
telling
can't
you,
read.
The
Ask my
negative
audience.
reviews are very positive.
Well, the cinema score
Hell
just
yeah.
came out for Snow White.
The negative reviews.
I believe you
I
said
can't wait to
about
clip this out,
Indiana
though.
The
Jones.
negative reviews are very
It's in
very
my
positive.
review. It's in my review. I talk about how the negative reviews are very positive.
Well,
They all keep
Yeah,
saying-
Max.
you can like. Okay,
They
here's
all
the
keep
thing.
All right,
saying
I'm-
this
you
is
can
good.
like-
I need to go to
this is
sleep.
good.
This is way
This
too
is
late
good.
on
This
this
is
shit.
good.
You can like a
why?
certain aspect of a movie
Why
and
does it
still
exist?
acknowledge it's a bad
The
movie.
negative reviews are really positive.
Right.
For example, like
I want
again,
that on
I
a
love it.
shirt,
a
Joe.
lot of these
You couldn't
reviews-
you couldn't even acknowledge Brave New World
Okay,
was a
Max,
terrible movie.
dispute me on
RJ.
that.
Shut up.
Dispute me on that, Max. You're laughing, but dispute me on it.
The Rotten Tomatoes, as much
Well,
as people
I
like to
just
say
said, I
Rotten
literally
Tomatoes
just
doesn't
quite
matter,
said,
it
again.
does. It does. People, the general audience,
you
listens
can
to
like
it.
aspects of
Yeah,
a
but you
movie
didn't
while
dispute what I
acknowledging that
said.
it's not a good movie.
That there's
didn't
positive
dispute what
to
I
the
said.
negative. The negative reviews were slightly positive.
Yeah, did you read them?
I have
No.
positive, negative reviews of
playing-
things.
Well, there
Max,
you
I
I
have
gotta get
negative,
going.
positive reviews of things.
Max, I gotta get going. It's 1:00 over here. But
Perfect.
before I
Thank you.
go,
Thank you
I
for-
need to say I am playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm a big fan
Oh,
of
yeah.
Assassin's Creed. Okay, and let me
Oh.
tell you, this game, oof, it is beautiful.
No,
It's
I
great.
always
love
said it doesn't matter if it's woke. It just matters if it's above average game. People,
It's
can buy it.
great, and I paid
I
the
don't think-
$70
It should be
for it,
woke,
and it's
too.
worth it.
Yeah,
I
No,
love it so far. I love it so far,
Did
and
you
I've played
buy it?
every
Was it
Assassin's Creed
controversy
except for the
or- Oh, you have played
PS
it?
ones.
Okay.
the
Because there's
smaller
some
ones.
people that bought it to try it just because the controversy too, or they want to give it a shot, or
That's perp.
No,
Yeah.
he said
Well,
he's
no,
played it
I'm a
for
huge.
free.
I was gonna play no matter what because I'm a huge Assassin's Creed. And the minute I found out, it's like, dude, it's a lead girl, ninja girl. I'm so there, and it's awesome. It's great. All right, I
thank
love
you,
it.
Bruce.
I highly
for
recommend it.
35
Everyone
months.
play Assassin's Creed Shadows if you're into that. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Before you go,
What's up?
37 months. Thank you.
I
Before
got
I go,
my, I got my first popcorn bucket, the monkey baby.
Oh, I'm jealous. I
Have
got
you
my.
seen it?
Yeah, I love the monkey. I thought
It
it was
has
awesome.
no the popcorn bucket. No, I know you saw the movie.
Oh, the monkey. Yeah, it's the monkey. It's the actual monkey.
It's
toy.
the monkey. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
well, I would buy this anyway, and it has blood on the drum, which is
That's awesome. I got a Nosferatu
Yeah.
one that I had to order because it was
All
like.
right, is this
that way.
popcorn bucket hour? What the hell is this?
Sorry, I got a
It's a-
Nosferatu one on the way.
Listen.
I got one on the way. It's still
wait,
not even here
that's
yet.
see, that's awesome.
Do you have
I
a
haven't even
popcorn
heard of
bucket,
that one.
RJ? Voltaire,
Yeah, it's a
what
coffin.
popcorn
All right.
bucket are you getting?
Later, guys.
Peace out, bro.
Correct me if I'm
You-
wrong. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
You
But
know what video
when
I
the last Indiana Jones movie came out, didn't you use that same comment that even the negative reviews are positive?
Yeah, and I was right then too.
Oh my God,
The movie still failed though.
Joe!
Yeah, but it failed how?
Max's
Like,
mind is
failed how?
exploding.
Numbers matter.
No, they don't.
Much as yes, they do.
No, they don't. Quality matters.
The
Both
audience
matter.
rejected
Yeah.
that movie though.
Both matter. Why are you selling off Looney Tunes? Coyote versus Acme.
Which, by the way,
Oh,
the
but it's
cinema score
bad.
for Snow White just came out. It is the lowest cinema
Yes.
score for any Disney live action remake.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
but
matter.
cinema
It's
score
only
doesn't
slightly
matter.
Oh, wow,
positive
really?
on their way out.
Cinema score doesn't matter. That's an irrelevant metric
No,
anymore.
it's not.
No, it's not.
Joe's right. Wait,
I
so
actually,
I don't.
I actually want to do a video. I was thinking about this today. I was checking the
Numbers, money, numbers, and scores
Okay, when
don't
the
matter.
second
would-
weekend for this movie happens and it's like a 60% drop, then we'll talk then.
It's actually
No,
going to
it's
do really
interesting.
well.
So
This movie's
let's-
going to have legs like the other Disney movies.
So little girls who
That
love
cinema score
White-
tells me otherwise.
Yeah, but cinema score is never right.
yeah,
It
Right.
measures.
You
it
said the
measures
same thing
the
about
audience
Captain America.
was not a
Captain America's
movie.
still doing quite well at the box office.
No,
It's not even.
quite
It
well.
hasn't even broken.
It was
even
good
yet.
though.
It's doing.
Actually,
was
it
good.
did.
Captain
It already
America has
profited.
not broken even yet.
Yes, it
It's
has.
not
It's already.
No,
it's
it is
already.
not.
It's already
For
turned to
what
profit.
metrics, Joe?
But it was good. The numbers don't matter for that
It's
one.
doubled
I
its
agree.
budget.
You marketing.
Yeah. Well, then the number. Yeah.
it was
Doubling
like,
your
you know,
production budget does not account for the amount of money you spend on marketing. though.
okay, Joe. Here's some slight math for these projects. It was at least a $200 million project. Okay. Then there's
180
marketing.
million.
Okay. The 108 million. Then there's the marketing budget, which I don't know how much it is, and then the theater gets a slice of that too. It's not all pure profit. How in the world do you say it's already profitable?
Because they were reporting in the news that it's already profitable.
Where?
No, they were not. No, there was actually a report. There's been reports that have said this movie needs to make at least 500 million to break even.
Yeah,
that still has not reached that metric yet.
You could cherry pick reports on either side of this argument. You could find one site that says it is profitable. You could find one site that it's far from profitable.
But anyway, I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested in is I want to do a video.
Yes.
Comparing the Rotten Tomatoes score on all the Disney live action remakes, because this movie, everyone's so full of shit on this movie. Everyone is so full of shit on this movie because do you know what? There's only been 2 of all the Disney live action remakes. There's only been like 2 of them that got scores like in the 90s. Jungle Book was one, and I'm blanking on what the other was right now. All the positive scores are generally in the 60s and 70s. And most of them,
probably the other one.
Cinderella was the other one. Thank you. Cinderella was the other one. But most of them have rotten scores, like going all the way back to 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close in the 90s. Negative, like 30-some%. Got a sequel. That's a Rotten Tomato score. That's a rotten. Mufasa, which was a hit. That's a rotten. All of these films, and everyone's acting like, oh my God, Snow White got 40%. The time has shown us time and again that no matter.
I agree. Because you know what? Little girls who want to see Snow White singing and doing her thing, they don't care about what the critics say.
Exactly.
Well, that's also true too. I mean, but I've also said that there's been a massive quality issue across the board with these live action remakes. A lot of them just aren't very good.
Most of them are pretty good though. Like there's not many that are terrible.
Complete opposite of it.
I'm saying seriously though. I mean, can you name any that are really bad? I heard Pinocchio is really bad. I didn't see Pinocchio.
Was awful.
Yeah,
that
but like
really
I mean,
bad.
other than that, like Dumbo was really good.
Dumbo was surprisingly good.
Dumbo's probably better than. And guess what? It got a rotten score.
It didn't make money either.
Yeah. Well, I like I always say, money doesn't matter. Quality.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
But everything matters.
Not really.
Everything's a factor.
Money matters least.
Not show friends, it's show business.
Yeah. So in the movie's a hit. You getting paid, Max?
No, I'm not getting paid. I'm not
The
getting
movie's
paid.
not a hit though. Disney's going to lose a lot of money.
Yes.
Who cares? That's not my money.
Exactly.
I agree, but it impacts what kind of projects to make in the future. Though.
I love the movie Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren. One of my favorite movies. Didn't make money at the box office. Guess what? Still got the Blu-ray on my shelf. Didn't hurt me at all.
Hell yeah. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Exactly.
We're not talking about you. We're talking about Disney.
Okay, what about him?
All right. Yeah, but he's saying like Canon was a failure, but we love what they did. It doesn't matter that they failed. They made great art that will last forever.
There's some
Superman 4, baby.
There's some context that Joe is leaving out. Yes, they haven't been fresh scores, but they're not this far rotten as it is for the Snow White.
Some of them are far more rotten.
Okay. Which one? Mufasa?
101 Dalmatians was in the 30s.
The Glenn Close from the 90s? That was a whole different ball game. That
was a great movie.
No. They weren't putting money into it like they did with the current day live action Disney movies.
That's true.
That was a different thing.
Who
cares? It's a good movie.
This is this is a big budget live action remake. That was, that was small production.
Who cares?
Was Hook Disney?
No, that was Sony.
Okay, because that was awesome. Give it to Sony for that one.
What is Perp doing to you, RJ? Oh no.
Perp is still here?
He didn't
lurking?
say.
I would
he
hope.
didn't say.
I hope
he's
that there's no more remakes.
He didn't say straw manning you, RJ. You didn't say
He's
no
lurking.
more. You said the quality is bad. It doesn't say you want no more. You want the quality.
No, actually, I do. I don't want any more remakes. I would love if they stopped remaking.
Well, there's going to be another remake, and it's going to make $1 billion.
They're going to remake Batman pretty soon.
Lilo and Stitch.
The DCU.
Lilo and Stitch is going to make money. Yeah. But that looks on a higher caliber than Snow White.
And it looks like the cartoon character, everybody.
Yes.
It looks just like the cartoon character.
Yeah.
Hold on, we got to get back to Grace.
I got to react.
I forgot she was.
Sorry, Grace. We're back to you. Let's. We're
so sorry.
Let's give Grace some respect in her opinion and hear her out. Here we go.
All right, so I think that there is an irony of having Godot play the evil queen because that's a woman obsessed with beauty. And here's Godot, where that's the only thing that she brings to the role.
She's true to the character.
Can't act.
Yeah.
She can't sing. She even has trouble just standing there.
Oh boy, that's rough.
Whoa.
She even has this. She went hardcore on Gal. Is Gal Gadot the new what's that actress's name? RJ, Jessica Chastain. Is Gal Gadot the new Jessica?
No, I think she's just being honest.
Well, Joe, I have news for you. If Snow White doesn't do good, I think it's a wrap on Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman 3.
It was a wrap 2 years ago.
No,
anyway.
there's still. She said she's
not according to Joe.
Yeah, what's her name? I was proven right. I'm always proven right. Gal Gadot just said in an interview last week that it's that she still could be returning as Wonder Woman.
No, she didn't. Where's that?
She did.
Oh,
I
want to
interviewed about Snow White, and they asked her about her future in the DCU.
She hasn't talked to James Gunn since that initial meeting.
So, again,
in her dreams, maybe.
Yo, if Gal's back,
I think
they're all coming back.
I think I'm going to go see it with my wife next week, but I'm not expecting a great movie. We have all these Cinemark things tacked up until I get my A-list. I'm going to see if she doesn't want to see it, I'm not going to see it. But
by the way, I have the tomato meter here. The lowest scoring Disney remake was on the tomato meter was Pinocchio at 27%.
Which
that was direct to Disney Plus. That wasn't released in theatrical.
Is that the one with Tom Hanks?
That doesn't change the tomato meter.
Was that Tom Hanks?
That's context.
I don't understand what context. We're talking about the tomato meter here. Number 22, second lowest was Alice Through the Looking Glass with 29%. Then 102 Dalmatians with 30%. Then 101 Dalmatians with 39%. Then Maleficent, Mistress of Evil at 40. Then we get to Snow White at 44. And then Dumbo's right above it with 46. Alice in Wonderland at 50. Lion King, which made $1 billion at 51. Maleficent, which is fantastic at 54. So you see, Aladdin.
My
which
laugh
made $1 billion,
isn't fake,
is at
CJ.
57.
I'm really pissed. I'm going to time you out for that. I don't have a fake laugh. I don't do that for content.
My laugh was real too, by the way. Both times.
I've literally laughed
both times.
Okay, we'll finish
the
this
verified audience score on Rotten Tomatoes for Snow White.
Thank you for all that context, Joe.
It's Through the Looking Glass, the Tim Burton one.
I forgot about Peter Pan and Wendy. That one I totally forgot about. That was another direct to Disney Plus. It was very good.
Oh, really?
That was a really good one.
I'm not fake. CJ, you ass, you Canadian asshole.
Is Through the Looking Glass the Johnny Depp version? Is that what they're talking about?
That was the second one. That was
someone put a tariff on CJ.
But it was Tim Burton
right now.
I didn't realize that was Disney.
Yeah, I don't think,
actually,
I don't think Tim Burton directed the sequel. Maybe he did.
I really can't.
I guess he did the original.
It was
Grace
not.
wants
Tim
us to
Burton
finish.
did not direct the sequel. It was somebody
Grace
else.
wants us to finish.
Just the first one, yeah.
Yeah, just the first one.
Grace looks angry there. Look at her. She's like, ooh.
We feature female creators on this channel.
Yeah, we feature female creators.
She even has trouble just standing there. She is truly awful in the role.
Truly awful in the role. This is what I've heard consistently, Joe, except for you.
When you think about how many divas in Hollywood could have knocked this one out of the park.
That's true.
It's so disappointing that they cast Godot in the role.
Why does it have to be a diva?
Because it's the queen. Evil.
Yeah, but
I think any other actor probably would have been served. I think Catherine Hahn would have been great.
Yeah, that's what I was. Catherine Hahn would have been amazing.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
Anne Hathaway would have been.
Everything is just too much. Oh yeah, Anne Hathaway. That's a good call too.
I
haven't seen it yet, so
Bruce, I don't do kayfabe like you do. Ooh,
oh my god!
I'm all genuine. I never even heard that till you and Degrassi keep saying that. I'm 100% authentic madman.
So listen, never cast Anne Hathaway as a queen because the queen is supposed to be beautiful, but not as beautiful as Snow White. It's already a stretch with Gal Gadot versus Rachel Ziegler. Let's be honest. You know what I mean?
That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Hathaway would have just been ridiculous.
That's a good point. Well, that's what a lot of people are saying.
You're saying you think Ziegler's that much more attractive than Hathaway?
Okay.
I mean,
that would work, Joe, if that was the case.
I mean, I don't know. Hathaway's pretty attractive. I don't know. Rachel Zegler, I don't know that I would agree with that. Rachel Zegler's very attractive, but I don't know that she's that much more attractive than Hathaway.
No,
I think Hathaway.
No, he's saying that would be harder for the audience to say that this woman is upset with her beauty when she's
because she's pretty.
She probably
hotter.
competes. Yeah, she competes on the hotness scale.
Just be like, I don't need to worry about this or go through any of this trouble. I'm just gonna chill in my
castle.
castle.
Catherine Hahn is very attractive woman, but she can play that type of role, which
that would be good. That would be good. But it would be more like
more believable.
And her beauty is like in her attitude and her personality, and she could bring it out. She probably if she was being mean, That's
Bruce. We understand that the ugly is in her heart, but there's also the even the fairy tale.
If you care about that stuff, Bruce.
You have to understand that Bruce is right, but you also have to understand you have to understand that the Queen doesn't see it that way.
But there's also superficial things too. Just like the Queen is superficial about
the Queen is superficial.
The Queen has to be superficially attractive because that's how she sees beauty.
Yes,
that's how she sees it. That's right.
And that's what's conveying to the audience. That's the lesson,
Oh yeah, Maleficent is hot. She's always been hot.
Inside beauty and outside.
Oh, that's a different one. Are they the same? Okay. Is it like a Tarantino verse thing going on with Sleeping Beauty and Snow White? Is it the same witch?
This is what Rational wanted me to bring up, and then we'll start ending the show because I'm exhausted. That whole little people debate really. I hope. Oh man, that was a disaster.
What little people debate?
About
Max tried to debate
RJ just wants
real little people, and we kicked it.
If they want to, it depends. Ask a little person.
I think that Peter Dinklage did a lot of harm towards this movie.
Thank you. He sure did.
See, there we go.
I saw the movie. He didn't do any harm. Trust me.
Agrees with Max and I.
Well, we can agree to disagree. I think that taking away acting opportunities from actors who are of that size and of that.
We'll bring you back next week, CGH.
I can honestly say, thank God they didn't cast real little people.
Those CGI creatures are an abomination.
Well, the little people who are desperately in need of work right now would disagree.
Well,
RJ is correct.
The movie's better off without them. Just saying.
You got 2 episodes, CGH. 2 episodes, and it is going to get canceled.
RJ.
I'm going to go Zaslav on you because you say I'm not authentic.
God. RJ, did you see Tiptoes?
What was canceled after the pilot
Tiptoes.
episode?
Blame CJ.
I own Tiptoes.
Who owns Tiptoes? Joe?
For business practices? It doesn't matter, Bruce, because they're talking about numbers.
Max, have you seen Tiptoes? I know Perp has.
No.
Oh, it
stars Matthew.
I want to cover.
It stars Matthew McConaughey.
It's almost 1:30.
Max, it stars Matthew McConaughey.
I'm sorry, Voltaire.
No, Gary Oldman. He's the brother.
Voltaire.
Yeah, I know, but he identifies as
Voltaire.
I
don't know what happened to this.
Oh shit! You're right, Joe. Oh wow.
Little people come from every nationality, Bruce.
You know that, but you know, Joe. You know the story of Tiptoes.
They might be. No,
because Dinklage is in that too, and it was supposed to be like a movie, like a raunchy movie about little people, and then it ended up being like they didn't like the edit, and the director distanced himself from it.
Listen, I love Peter Dinklage, by the way. I love Peter Dinklage. I'm still looking forward to the Toxic Avenger movie. I just think that his comments were a bit. I'm not gonna say egregious, but I think it hurt this movie. I think it put Disney in a bad corner. I think it kind of damaged the little person acting community a little bit.
But
I agree with RJ.
Disney was always going to use CGI.
RJ,
pictures.
Can you help me out here? Because I had a debate with Joe and Perp where they said Disney wasn't reactionary to Pinker Dinklage's comments.
They were 100% reactionary.
No.
They were.
There was never a time they weren't going to use CGI creatures.
Oh my God.
That is a farcical lie.
There was
they
never
always
a time.
consistently use little people in these adaptations until the Snow White.
But Joe, do you remember
Disney's Snow White?
But do you remember when they had the articles that were like, in light of Peter Dinklage's comments, we're going to do this? Because I remember that.
Yes, but they didn't.
Doesn't that show that?
No.
Oh, Purpose back.
No, because all they said.
What were you saying, Joe?
All they said was, we're not going to call them dwarves. We're going to call them magical creatures.
But you also turn them into CGI.
Okay. They were always going to be CGI.
CGI characters.
Yeah, but that
might be true.
I mean,
that might be true.
In the movie, and we know that this movie went through reshoots and rewrites. It's not a secret. They were open about this. The male lead character is a bandit who has a troop of 7 bandits that were supposed to be the stand-ins for the 7 dwarves, and they changed that.
No.
At the last minute.
No.
And yes, they did.
No.
Yes.
No.
100% they did.
Confirmed
the bandits are in the movie.
They're still in the movie, but they also shoehorned in the dwarves as well.
No.
Okay.
They don't call them dwarves, but the dwarves are a major part of this movie. That's not. There's no shoehorning them in. You couldn't have done the movie without them.
All right. No, RJ's saying that they would have been in it, but not CGI.
You weren't going to have 7 bandits singing "Hi Ho" and going down the mine shaft in their little roller coaster like that. No.
Okay.
I agree with RJ.
Me too.
I like I said, I think it was all reactionary on Disney's part because of Peter Dinklage's comments.
This is the article that Rashta wanted me. Give thumbs up to this amazing Mike Truck episode that turned into complete chaos. Rachel Zegler's Snow White box office projections now up to 22 million lower than already middling outlook. That's significant. That's not nothing. As per Hollywood Reporter, at the time of reporting, Snow White is projected to debut at the domestic box office opening with the opening weekend range between 48 and 58 million. This puts movie on a significant downward slide that could see it coming in up to 22 million, lower than its initial upper bound. Now, I am not rooting for this to fail. I might see this movie. I hope they're wrong. But if you consistently have to adjust your projections and lower them, and it still doesn't meet them, that's significant.
It's pretty irrelevant, though.
It's not irrelevant.
It is pretty irrelevant.
No. The industry makes decisions.
You haven't been paying attention.
The industry makes decisions after opening weekend 1 and 2.
Yes, but opening weekend doesn't matter anymore.
Yes, it does. Not for every movie.
Tell that to Mufasa.
You could cherry pick certain things, Joe, like you are doing. Certain projects.
Yes, I'm cherry picking every single Disney movie that has come out in the last couple of years.
Certain projects like
Elemental
Pixar,
and The Little Mermaid and Mufasa. Yeah. Basically, Pixar, the films that are the equivalent of this.
Pixar was not in the theaters, and it was a above average Pixar movie.
Wasn't in the theaters. Yes, it was.
Pixar hadn't been in the theater again until that moment. Until they were on
incorrect Lightyear.
I think that the second and third weekend will be more telling than the opening weekend because you never know for sure. Because there's really nothing coming out until Minecraft in a couple weeks. So Snow White does have 2 weeks to itself. So we'll see. I mean, like I said,
I think this weekend is a big deal. I want to see how many little girls are crying to their parents to take them to Snow White. I think that's the big test.
I mean, I'll go see it. I'm not like beating down the door to go see it, but if it's, I'm going to ask my wife if she wants to see it. If she does, I'll go see it.
Did I miss you guys talking about the Looney Tunes movie, or did you not talk about it?
Yeah, we could talk about it.
No, I don't understand why that wasn't promoted. Like, I had no idea that was a thing.
Because Ketchup Entertainment bought the movie from Warner Brothers for quite a number of millions of dollars. Not sure how much.
You know what? That makes sense.
Ketchup is a smaller distributor. They pretty much had no marketing budget. I mean, whatever marketing budget they had was like spent on online advertising. Which
that's
again,
so interesting.
I wish they would have gotten a larger marketing budget because I think they could have done more with it, but they just didn't have the
Joe,
money.
I want to say I'm going to visit you in Larry soon. I love you, and you had my favorite quotes.
Hell yeah!
This very stream. The positive and the negative.
That was amazing. There's also negative positives. There's negative positive reviews too.
Yeah, Max, you see, here's the thing. You're laughing, but you have no room to laugh because you didn't read the reviews.
I don't need to read them all.
How do you not need to read them? What I said is 100%.
It was still negative. That leaned a little 100%. Positive. It had something nice to say.
This is good, and this is good, and this is good, and this is good, and this is good. But why does it exist?
This is why people talk about participation.
But that's what I was saying, though. It's like you can
There's
give
something to take from it.
Well, I was going to say, like, you can like an aspect of a movie while still not liking the movie overall and think it's bad.
They basically liked every aspect of the movie.
That's how I was with Joker too.
Is there anyone raving about Gal Gadot?
The combination, what do you call it? What we just read about the Tomato Meter and the other Disney live action remakes speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. The critics don't like these live action remakes. It has nothing to do with
in
the
general.
movie.
You're right, but this one seems egregiously more negative than most.
Except it's not more negative than most.
Okay.
Well, we just went through the list. It's not even in the.
Okay.
It's not. They were like 5 lower than it.
All right. I that's all. That's all I got. Voltaire, would you mind ending the show for me, please? I'm sorry, bro.
I just have one question.
Yes.
Before you go, has anyone seen Black Bag yet?
I have not.
No, I need to get it. I
recommend it.
So I didn't get to go to the movie theater.
It's the new Steven Soderbergh.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Like a spy drama. And Max, I think you'll dig it, especially because you're a married man.
What is it again?
All you married men, I think, will appreciate it.
What's it called again?
It's called Black Bag.
Where is it at?
And it's Michael Fassbender. It's in theaters.
Oh, okay. Black Bag.
I like Michael Fassbender. Like the video, everybody.
Remind
Pierce
people,
Brosnan.
Voltaire, next week's going to be a good show. We'll bring back blame CGH. Maybe he says he's saying it fake news that it's canceled in the chat, and we're gonna
what's canceled?
The blame Canada. Blame.
No,
CGH.
we're just tariffing it. The Canadians.
And
gonna tariff them a little
I can't
bit.
recommend Novocaine enough. Novocaine is so good.
Oh,
I need Novocaine.
Companion was one of the best movies I saw this year, and Novocaine is one of the best movies I saw this year. Jack Quaid's killing it, man.
Yeah, Novocaine. Yeah, he was great in both of those.
And that is a factor. It's not nothing.
Quality
Max, you would like Novocaine.
Quality matters too. Okay. Voltaire, please take us out. Thank you so much.
Novocaine can make $1 billion. I'm not going to see a cent of it, so it doesn't mean shit to me.
It means something in the industry and job security of all these people working. And Jack Quaid,
they're going to get roles. He's going to get roles from that movie.
Then maybe they got to stop making bad decisions, like putting things on streaming within 30 days.
That's not the only. That's not the only thing, Joe.
Yeah, it's number one.
He's going to get lead roles.
It's definitely a factor for sure. It's a factor.
It's the biggest factor.
Okay, everybody, don't forget to leave your voicemails. Next week, we will be announcing a winner of the voicemail contest where you could win a hot $20 from Max. He will not dox your personal information. Don't worry about it. Call the Drunk Dial hotline, everybody. Good night and good luck.
Oh, boy.
Booyakasha.